Imagine a young shepherd boy, standing in the fields, armed with nothing but a slingshot and unshakable faith. No armor, no sword, just courage rooted in God. That boy would one day slay a giant, rise to become Israel's greatest king, and leave behind a legacy that still shapes the faith of millions today. This is the incredible story of David, the man after God's own heart. Alright guys, welcome back to Divine Insights, where we dive deep into the Bible to uncover timeless lessons and spiritual truths. If you're new here, consider subscribing, and if you're returning, thank you for joining me again. David's story begins not in a palace, but in the fields of Bethlehem. He was the youngest son of Jesse, often overlooked, tasked with tending sheep while his older brothers pursued warrior glory. Yet in those quiet fields, David learned what many kings never did: intimacy with God. With every song sung on his harp and every prayer whispered under the stars, David's heart was being shaped to follow after the Lord. When the prophet Samuel came searching for the next king of Israel, no one thought of David. His father didn't call him at first, his brothers didn't consider him worthy. But God reminded Samuel, "Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." And so, in the presence of his family, David was anointed, a boy destined for greatness, chosen not for his stature but for his heart. David's faith was tested when he faced Goliath, the towering Philistine warrior who struck fear into Israel's army. While soldiers trembled, David declared, "The Lord who delivered me from the lion and the bear will deliver me from this giant." With a sling and a stone, he struck Goliath down, proving that victory belongs not to the strong, but to those who trust in the Lord. David's journey wasn't without hardship. King Saul's jealousy forced him into hiding, and David spent years running through caves and deserts. Yet, even with opportunities to kill Saul, David refused, saying, "I will not lay my hand on the Lord's anointed." His restraint showed his deep reverence for God's authority, even when wronged. Eventually, God lifted him to the throne, fulfilling the promise spoken years earlier. But David was not perfect. His sin with Bathsheba and the tragedy that followed revealed his humanity. Unlike Saul, however, David's response to failure was different. He fell to his knees in repentance, crying out in Psalm 51, "Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me." His willingness to humble himself before God is what kept him close to the Lord, even in failure. David's life teaches us that being a man after God's own heart doesn't mean living a flawless life. It means pursuing God earnestly, repenting when we fall, and trusting Him in every circumstance. David left a legacy not just as a warrior and king, but as a worshiper who pointed to the coming Messiah, Jesus Christ, who would be called the Son of David. David's story reminds us that God does not look for perfection, but for a heart that seeks Him above all else. And that's the challenge for us today. Will we be people after God's own heart? If this story inspired you, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and subscribe for more powerful Bible stories here on Divine Insights. Until next time, keep your heart aligned with God, just like David.